Turn it up.
Morning all, Puddin' here. Hey, I had a question on a video that I'd posted when I went to Flagstaff, and Angie's Rambling RV wanted to know about where I got my LED lights, how I put them up, and where she could find them. So I'm going to do that in this video. Today's kind of a, how do I put this? I'm hurting today from yesterday, from going up to Jerome. So I'm going to kind of take it easy and do a little indoor video, but there's a couple things that I wanted to add to this, and so this might be a really short video, and School Time will be back today, just so you know. So let's get started, and I'm going to show some of the things I've done first, and then we'll get right into it. Okay, now when I first got this RV, and excuse the mess, this is how I've got everything set up. I got my gloves and stuff by the door. All these lights right here, like this. Oh crap, I got money in there. I didn't know that. Okay, when I first got this RV, all these lights right here came in it, and I don't like these lights. And for one thing, it sticks out over my shelf, and it takes up so much freaking room. So, and there was another one that was over here. Now I'm going to turn this on, and it's going to be bright. And it's an LED light, but it fits flush on the wall. And that cost me, I think, 17 bucks. So this is what I've done, and I love this. Because it's flat against the wall, but it still gives you some light so you can work with. And it's all LED, so you don't have to worry about power. Now, you have to forgive my mess. Now, what I did to hook these up is this is where the old radio was in here, and I didn't like it because this spot was actually open and this spot was taken up. So what I did was I made a plate out of some old material that I had from where did I get that? I think it was off one of the oh god, one of the dinette backs. So I just cut a piece. It's not perfect, but it works. So I mounted my own stereo in here, and just so you know, it works. So we'll turn that off. But what I did was I mounted everything inside here, and I'm not going to pull everything out because I have my flashlights and all that stuff in there, and I have a bunch of junk in there. But everything is mounted inside there, and it actually says it's 12 volt, but I hooked it up into the RV electrical system. So I ran an extension cord from here all the way around and down, and the extension cord goes underneath there. So I know it's probably not the proper way of doing it, but she was also wanting to know how I installed all these. Well, I'm going to show you. On the corners, I got these little clear clips, and they came in a kit for electrical, like the adapters and stuff, and they're mainly, what these do is they hold wires in. And I put these around on the corners so they would stay in. And then the rest of it, it has 3M tape on the back. But there was times where I had to put super glue, and I'm going to show you this because this is something I'm not very proud of. You can tell the places that I forgot to put super glue. So that's one of the spots I forgot to put super glue. And you don't have to put much, you just put a line of it on the back and it'll stay up there. And there's a couple more smaller spots here and one here. But for the foremost, it's up all the way around. And then I'll show you this also. Back here, I wanted to keep this along the edge. So what I did is I took a piece of plastic angle, and I know this is going to probably be kind of hard to see, but I measured it out, and then what I did was I screwed it up right here along this way, And then that way it would line up. And I know it's not perfectly straight here, but it works. And then that way I could keep it run all the way across the same way. And then there's another spot that's super glue. I didn't put super glue. So there's spots like that all the way around, but that's how I got it up. So let me sit back down here real quick. So that's how I put my lights up. Where I got them off of Amazon, and I'm going to put that right here. And then the little flat round lights that I have in the wall, I'm going to put that up here also. Don't know if it's going to be set up perfect, but you'll at least get to see them. I know the black lights are the little flat lights that go on the wall. I know they're like $17.99. And the LED lights that came with the controller and the little remote, so you can change all the colors and everything. When I bought it, I think it was 23 bucks, and I'm not for sure, but I took a screenshot of it from Amazon where I got it from, and I want to say it's 27 now, so it went up like $5. Pretty much everything that I have gotten off of Amazon in 2017 for this RV, everything that I've gotten has went up in price. I don't know what the deal is. I think it was because of the tariffs and shit that were added to things that were coming from China. Don't even get me started. Anyway, so that's what I did. And I like the lights. I still need to put a new run outside underneath my awning. When I put those up, I didn't take into consideration that water could get behind it, and it literally destroyed about that far of the lights outside, and it all freaking rusted, and it shorted it out, so it doesn't work anymore. So now, so I had to pull the whole daggone thing down, and now I need to get another one so I can put up there. Now, these strips that you buy, you can actually cut them, and I don't remember. I think I threw it away, but I had... Yes, I did throw it away. Dadgummit. Alright. But on these strips, there's little sections that have where you can actually cut it. It's not going to hurt it none, but I recommend if you do cut it and you put them on the outside, put a little silicone. Just put a little dab of silicone on the end so water does not get in there and rust it out. And then if you have connectors, let's see if you can see this. I'm going to have to turn this around real quick again. If you have connectors like this and they're on the outside, silicone right here in the middle. Just put a light coat, put a little on your finger, run it around the whole outside, make sure it's completely sealed. You do not want water inside that. And I know this looks like crap right here. That's where the junction ended, or this is where this ended, and then I had to get another one to start here, so I had to buy two. And actually, I'll explain that in a minute. It's kind of complicated, but it was left with this, and there was nothing I can do. I didn't want to cut anything and shorten it up because I didn't want it to all screw up. So, okay. Now, when I first bought these LED lights, I got them from Amazon. Like I said, I paid 23 bucks for them. That's what I paid for them. When I got the first set, the AC box that comes with it, and then you got a cord that you plug in, they were different. It was a two-prong box, so the female end was a two-prong, and the male end was a three-prong. So I had to message Amazon and let them know, hey, there's a big difference here. There's a two-prong box and a three-prong cord, not going to work. So then I get the next one, and I get the complete, I mean, I didn't even recognize it. I get a complete wrong AC adapter box. Nothing would work in it. I have no clue where it came from. I don't know what they were thinking. They literally had to stop production of those LED lights to make sure that they didn't have that happen again. And then finally, on the third time, they got it right. It took them 3 times before they actually sent me the right one and one that actually worked. So I kind of went through a month of going back and forth with Amazon with this product. But am I happy with them? Oh, hell yeah. I love them. I've not had a problem with these that's inside at all. Like I said, I did have a problem with the outside, but that was my own fault for not sealing them up properly. And I did put super glue on the outside too. Now, when you put the super glue on, you want to do it a little bit at a time. I mean, you want to do small strip, and you want to take the super glue and just barely run it along the edge. And you want to do a thin strip of it, because when you put super glue on, you know it spreads out real quick. But I did that on here, and I've not had any issues with them inside. None. The only problem I've had is where I forgot to put super glue, because I thought the 3M tape was going to hold better. And there's a couple spots where it doesn't. But I cleaned everything off with rubbing alcohol first, all around the edges, like in the corners and everything. I cleaned everything off. But like I said, I also put those little clips on the corners so the corners wouldn't pull up. That's one thing I noticed when I first put them up, was that the corners would not stay. So you definitely want to get something to put in the corners so they're not gonna pull out of the corners, and they're not gonna raise up. And that's why I got those little wire. They're just little clear plastic things, and they come with one simple screw, and it's real easy to put those up also. So that's my LED lights, and I don't know if there's anything else about them. I have changed everything in here to LED bulbs. That was one of the first things I did, because I knew that I was going to be out, and I wanted to make sure when I got my battery bank and my solar that I would have enough power to run lights and stuff. So, and the way it was explained to me and what I have done, I've done some research on this. The regular bulbs that you get with an RV take about 3 watts of power. These LED bulbs take like 0.3 or point something, 0.2.5 or something. Anyway, you can run 6 LED lights to one condensate, one regular bulb. I know that's, oh God, I got hiccups. That's the one thing I do know. So if you plan on doing it, make sure everything's changed over to LED for your light system. If you plan on doing the LED light strip around, just make sure the walls are clean, and make sure you have, maybe 4 or 5 little itty bitty super glue tubes. You can usually go to Dollar Tree or Dollar General or whatever, and you can get a 5-pack of super glue for $1. So it's not like it's going to be expensive, and you don't have to have name brand super glue. This was, the super glue I used on here was Dollar Tree brand. So it will work. Just take your time putting it up. It would be better if you have 2 people, so that way you can do, one can super glue, and then the other one can actually attach it to where you want it. This is actually, these lights here, which I'm trying to point at, that are up around, they're actually supposed to be mounted underneath a cabinet, not out in front. I liked it out front because it kind of brightens everything up in here, and I can change the color. And I really like how I put mine up here. I want to do, like I said, I want to do more on the outside. And another thing I got was an outside light, which I am going to post right here. And I paid $13 for this light, and it has worked, and it's solar. There's no power or nothing, because I didn't like the outside light. It wasn't working for what I was wanting. So I picked that up, and it's a multicolor. It changes color at nighttime. And I wanted it because it showed blue, and I thought it had blue because blue is my favorite color, if you guys haven't been able to tell. But when I got it, I found out that it changes from blue to red to yellow to green to orange to, whatever. And I kind of like it, but it's bright. And as long as you get a full sun charge on it during the day, it will last until the following morning. and at nighttime you can be, I'm going to say, about 35 to 40 feet away, and it'll pop on, and it brightens up everything in the area. I mean, really brightens it up. So I really like that light. It's been really great, and like I said, it's solar powered. When I put it up, it came with 2 screws, and I didn't use the screws that it came with. I actually used the I don't know what they're called. I want to call them Davidson screws, but I know that's not it. Patterson screws, or they're the square heads that all the RVs are made with. And I always forget the name of that screw, but I had 2 of them that were about that long, and I put them up with that, and then I sealed it up with silicone. So I sealed around it so no water could get behind it. I know a lot of people don't like using silicone on their RVs. They use the Dicor sealant. I don't mind using silicone. I think it's like once every 2 or 3 years that it has to be redone, and I don't mind doing that. I really don't. Some people do. Some people don't want to have to mess with it again. To me, it's like maintenance. It's like maintenance on a house. So every now and then you have to you have to chip the paint off the windows, and you have to repaint them and recaulk them and reseal them. Same thing with an RV. But I don't mind having to use the silicone. The only thing I don't like about silicone is that dust sticks to it out here in the desert, and it makes it look brown. So it makes your silicone actually turn brown. That's the only thing I don't like about it. Other than that, when I've used the silicone, I've actually sealed it up, and I've sealed it up really well. There are no leaks. None of the windows have any leaks around them whatsoever. I still have a small leak up in front, and I was dealing with a little bit of spot mold, and I have not had that since I've been here. So, and that was up in Washington, but you got to understand, Washington, it freaking rains all the time. And I was still in Washington from, what was it? When I got this in May in 2017, I was there from May to December, and I noticed there was like a slight odor, but it wasn't nothing severe. But then when I opened up the cabinet up in the front underneath my bed, and I wondered why I was getting sick, and I haven't been sick since I've been down here. The mold has never come back, and the smell's not back, and I still need to get up on the roof and patch a couple spots that are about this big. They're on the corners where the trim mold goes, and I will do that, but I want to get some Dicor sealant. I'm either going to use the Dicor Rubber Cube EPDM rubber coat roofing and just paint the corners and then paint across the front the front seal, or I'm just going to go up there with some silicone and try to seal it. Now, if you've seen, I had a video out, I think it was about a month ago, maybe, or maybe a few weeks ago, that I had tried to use that spray-on Flex Seal, but it wasn't Flex Seal, it was by Rust-Oleum. And don't ever spray that on top of silicone. It does not work, it does not stick, and it bubbles up. It will not stick to the silicone. So I still have to fix that issue because I'm an idiot. Actually, I'm not an idiot. I just didn't know. I had cleaned everything off with rubbing alcohol, and I made sure my surface was 100% clean before I sprayed it on. And it took about, I don't know, I'm going to say about 3 weeks to a month for me to actually notice it. But it finally pulled off of the silicone, and now it left bubbles. And I showed that in a previous video. So I learned from my mistakes, and hopefully I can teach you guys not to make the same mistakes I did, because I don't like, sometimes mistakes can be costly. Sometimes you can get away with not being so bad, but other times you're going to have some mistakes that you don't want to make. So anyway, that's what I have for right now, and if you have any questions about anything, don't hesitate to ask, and I will help out in any way I can, because like I said, I don't want people to make the same mistakes I made when remodeling or resealing an RV. When I got this RV, I think I've said this before, I'm not sure, and no, I don't have Alzheimer's. and I think I've explained this before, but I have short-term memory loss. So there's some things I can't remember if I spoke about. But when I first got the RV, I got up there and power washed it, pressure washed it, got it all cleaned up. I got 2 gallons of RPDM rubber roof coating. I got up there, coated it real well. I took Eternabond tape and I went around all the edges around the top, around the fans, around the. I got a skylight in the bathroom, the air conditioner. I went around everything with Eternabond tape. Now, Eternabond tape, that shit, I'm telling you right now, be careful, because once it goes down, it's down for good, and good luck trying to get it back up. So I resealed all the edges, and then I took the RPDM coating and put 2 coats on the roof. Not had any issues, except the front trim piece, which I did not get to. I did the back because that's where that leak was coming from, in that back corner. So I sealed all that up and really coated it good back there to make sure no leaks would come in. I didn't do it on the front. Anyway, so I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you've learned something from this. And any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Y'all have a great day and stay tuned. You never know what's going to happen next. Alright, class is in session. I want everybody to sit down, and if you don't want the ruler, give me an apple or something blue. Then we'll be good. Anyway, just kidding. Anyway, we got 4 new words, and we got a bonus word for you today. So, and I know I screw these up, but I don't like retaking this, and I like doing it the first time, and I don't know if it's funnier doing it the first time, but I don't like setting it up like a movie. I just want to do it in real time. So if it turns out bad, my fault. So our first word today, extinct. Extinct. My new girlfriend smells great, but my ex stinks. Second word, junkies. Junkies. Don't buy that Chevy Junkie's selling. You'll just end up walking. Why do I laugh at these? I'm the one doing it, and I'm laughing my ass off while I'm reading these. Okay, third one. Persona. Persona. Honey, if you leave your purse on the table, someone might get into it. Fourth word. Zion. Zion. I had my Zion, that gorgeous girl, all night. And a bonus one today. Fairways. Fairways. If fair's way to get into trouble, Puddin' will find it. Oh, I'm such a dork, but I don't care. I love being funny. At least I think I'm funny. I don't know if anybody else does, but anyway, that is School Time with Puddin'. I'm still trying to figure out what else to do with School Time. I may add some other stuff to it. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and find out. Still trying to come up with some new ideas for it. I'm glad you all joined me today. I hope you got a little bit of education out of what I had talked about, the RV and the lights and the RPDM and all that stuff. I appreciate you all joining me. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I love each and every one of you. So be safe, love one another, and live life to the fullest, because you never know if tomorrow will be here or not. Take care, y'all. God bless. And have a puddin-tastic day. Well, bam!
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they was born.